Hello and welcome back. We have another exciting package from the Show's eStore. This is the Can Squad unit MVN-06FY Barking Hound. This is the space type variant, however I have not seen another version. And to go ahead and jump into things, let's go ahead and talk about the packaging. We have this nice dynamic illustration on the cover with their standard logo and of course the basic type. Appears to be in Chinese and in English. We also have some pictures of what the kit's supposed to look like, with a little bit of a description. Of course, this part is not in English. And it's interesting that the back of the packaging looks like a card that would be inserted in there. They have a interesting tagline, make small great again. Now let's go ahead and open this up and see if it's worthy of our collection. Now for the contents of the packaging, we have decals. They appear like they could be water slide from here. A couple other things here. And then we have the manual, which is a well-printed piece. It's a little bit more matte than the rest of it. Has some illustrations inside, probably some information about the mecha, as well as the building and posing. And actually looking at this section here, it reminds me of the Blockies model kits. I'd recently built Optimus Prime, and while they might not be the same company, there might be some influences back and forth, or who knows, shared designers. So let's go ahead and check out the runners as well. And here's the straight build of this model kit. Honestly, the build wasn't too bad. However, it is pretty small, especially when I show you what it compares to. So you're gonna need to be somewhat delicate. Other than that, the pieces are well molded. They all fit together well. I will say that the undergating they did was a little bit excessive, and especially when something this small, I don't know if any of that was really necessary. There's one area that was undergated on the antenna that kind of left a mark. But for the most part, the majority of it does hide pretty well. As you can see here, we have our accessories, and we have a couple shields, 4 guns, an extra set of hands, which honestly, I think these look much better, but they're not holding hands, because when we're holding all the different accessories, we have to use these, and they do leave a rather large hole. That's my only gripe aesthetically about this. First, I'd like to get into posability. So we have a joint in the shoulder, butterflies forward back a little bit. We can rotate arm all the way around, knock the piece off. I did not glue anything, and for the most part, things stay on pretty good. They have this interesting technique, and this is a happy accident because it shows us how these go together. A lot of parts will press fit, and then you'll have a piece like this. These are more like clamping pieces to help keep stuff that you've pressed together stuck there. And I would say maybe the shoulders could use some glue after the fact. I'm trying to think if there's any other pieces. I could have sworn there was something else on here that I felt like I might have added some glue at a later time. But I think for the most part, this thing holds up pretty well. Anyway, let's get back to the articulation. We have the shoulder here. We have a single joint elbow. These pegs come out and cruise ports. We have rotation at the wrist. Of course, the hands pop out. Head, we can look around. We have upward and down movement. Head sculpt is actually pretty nice. It does have the Gundam aesthetic, but it also it does push towards the chibi side. We have rotation of the waist. Of course, no ab crunch because this is just too small to do that. Now, one thing I'll note about this, if you left these skirts off, you have a whole lot more hip movement, but it does look better with them. So it's optional, but we can only go out that far with those on there. They do not have any articulation. Front, the skirt moves up. We can go forward fairly well. The back does not, so that kind of limits the back. And then, of course, we have our knee movement, and we have a ball joint on the ankle. So this is small. This has an awful lot in it. The details are good. I'm pretty happy with this as far as it goes. And I'm going to keep this pretty brief just because there isn't a whole lot to talk about other than, like, it's a well-built kit that allows for customizing and cross compatibility with other parts. We do have a nice stand back here. I like how it plugs in. You have different options on here, but we have sort of this area designed specifically for this, which is honestly a bit more secure than a peg. And the thing that I called batteries before, I was incorrect. They're actually magnets. And so this is meant to go like on a refrigerator or a metal surface, and you have a horizontal stand that you can use this as. This is a nice little addition. This also acts a little bit as weapon storage down here, but you can only do so much. I think it's just a couple pieces that might fit. We also have these combining pieces here, so if you get multiple ones, you can combine the bases and make one larger base. Then, of course, we have the hard points. We have one in the back of the head, in his back here. Actually, this is not a hard point. This is a peg that came off. This is a hard point that is meant for the backpack here, and that had come off when I took it off. But any of the joints here, all these little fillers come out. The hands can hold stuff. This is articulated, though I think this actually might have been the piece I felt like needed to be glued, because every time I mess with it, it does come off. These thrusters come off. You can put the shields on there because they have a hard point. This comes off. And so if we can get this to move, it's actually a really stiff joint. We can get these nice little articulated thrusters back here, pop that back on. If we get to stay on, I think definitely I would glue that peg. That's definitely something to consider. But considering how small this is, it's really not that big a deal. I mean, this guy is very tiny. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool kit. This is something definitely worth messing with for the price point. It's the same price point as the comparable Kotobukiya kits, and this is much better, honestly. Here he is with one of these smaller size Diaclone type figures. You can see he's just slightly a head over him. I think this is the best comparison of them. This is a Gundam Converge figure, and it's not very posable. Like, it's pretty much a fixed plastic statue, and this guy is just a little bit larger and considerably more posable. Like, this is what Gundam should have been making versus these blind box figures. And realistically, you know, this is twice the price of this. Maybe not even that much more compared to this, and you're getting so much more for this figure, especially if you like to build models. And lastly, I want to show him next to my smallest 1/44 scale Gundam figure. This is the real grade Crossbone, and it is pretty tiny itself. But when you compare these two, you're seeing that you're getting something that's about half the size, and it packs a lot in perhaps a 50% more cuter package. But looking at this guy, it's got enough details. I'm going to come back and panel line them. Might glue a couple pieces here and there, but I think there's a lot of room here from customability. I'm going to get another one or two to sort of mix up and have some accessories to build these out. But anyway, I got mine at Show's eStore, so if you'd like to get one of your own, I'll put a link in the description below. Let us know in the comments below if this is worthy of your collection. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.